everyone, welcome back to the Strategy Room. It's so good to have you again, as usual. To those who are coming in for the first time, welcome. To my subscribers, my wonderful Strategy Room teammates, welcome back. How's your day? How did your day go? Yeah, I'm hearing good. It's always good, right? Even if it's perceived not to be good, we here at the Strategy Room believe that it's all good all the time. Well, I want to talk to you today about the difference between your want and your desire. So let me ask you the question. What do you want? What do you really want? Or should I be asking you the question, what do you desire? The difference between want and a desire, do you know? Okay, I'll tell you what my definition is for a want and a desire. A want is fickle. It comes and goes. And it's usually determined by what's happening in your environment. For instance, you may see a nice slice of cake, and that was not even in your mind. And then suddenly you want it. So that is triggered from the outside, right? So your outer environment determines what you want. But your desire, that springs deep within you. And no matter what you do, it's hard to kill. You may try to bury it, but eventually it bleeds through. You may try to ignore it, but it gets so loud that you have to turn its way once in a while. But your desire is where your power is. What do I mean by that? I think I can't remember the author, but he said, "Power, your desire creates power." And the reason why this force is so great and you can't just rid of it is because it's a part of the true essence of who you really are. Your deepest desire actually is who you are. It's attached to your soul, it's attached to who you are. And it actually is who you are, so you can't get rid of you. One of my boss said back in the day, he said, you go to Timbuktu, and there you are. And so wherever you go, your desires will be there with you. You will ignore it. Sometimes, yes, it may scare you, because it's asking you to go after big things. And so you would ignore it, or you would bury it. But later on, sometimes, somewhere, it'll whisper in your ear. You get what I'm saying? Now, I was watching television the other day, which is rare, but it's one of those moments. I had one of my little ones with me, and she was watching a television program that I thought was so interesting. Now, I love children's programs. Don't judge me. I love them, especially Sesame Street back in the day. I love it. I love it. But anyway, this one was really good because we don't get into it too, taking too much time on it. A story was told in this children's program, and they were talking about, I think the word was desire or resilience, I'm not sure. And what it is two kids with their father. They have a TV show, and they would have a word of the day. And then they would have the young son, which sat at the dictionary desk, I think you'd call it, and he would, you guys out there must know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't get the name of the show. But this little boy would sit at the desk, and they would throw the word at him, and then he would give the meaning, and then they would have like a story, like a true story of someone. And in this case, it was a young man. He grew up in Chicago, the rough side of Chicago. And when he was coming up as a child, he always wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to help people that way. But because of his parents' financial situation, he just dismissed it because he felt it could never happen. So what he did, he got into mechanics, fixing cars, etc., because that was a way for him to make money, to survive, to get what he wanted. So what he did, he said he would go to the local Jiffy Lube and wait in the parking lot for persons who would go in to get their car parts, etc. And then when they come out, he would ask them if they needed help to get their car fixed. And that's how he was able to build up a clientele, which was very smart. Then eventually he opened his own shop. And he did so well, you know, he started to do so well, loved his customers, and then his business started to grow. So he thought that he would go to the local community college and do a business administration degree so he can manage his business properly, which I also thought was a smart thing to do. While he was there, he had to do an elective course, you know, those elective courses which I hate, because I don't think it's relevant to what you're doing, but you know, knowledge is always delicious to me, so you know, it's always good to know, right? But these extra courses, it teaches you something. So he did the elective. He had to choose an elective, so he chose biology, I think it was. When he sat in that class, at first he was not intrigued, because he asked the same question I just asked, what that have to do with anything? But he decided to go anyway because he wanted his degree. When he sat in the class, after several classes, something inside of him rose. And each class, it got louder and louder. After each class, sorry, it got louder and louder. And he just was just loving the subject. He was just immersing himself and just loving it. And coming to the end of the course, he said, you know something? I'm going to be a doctor. What happened there? His desire, it was buried, but it didn't die. It rose. And it took that biology class to trigger, for what was inside to be triggered. And of course he went ahead and got his schooling, and he became a doctor. And he was one of the best where he worked. His patients loved him. The added thing is that because he treated his customers so good, because he needed those customers to build up his clientele, he had to give good customer service, and that bled over into him being a doctor. He had excellent bedside manner, so it worked out for him. So it might have been a little detour, but it still came together because he chased his desire, because your desire truly is power. It's your power. What I want to say to you today, my people, do not ignore, do not let another day go by with you ignoring that desire, that burning desire that you know that you should listen to and chase. Don't ignore it another day, because it's where your wealth is, it's where your health is, it's where your sanity is, it's where your fulfillment is. If you get something that you want, it's satisfying just for that moment. But after a while, it's empty. But once you go after what you desire, which is tied to your purpose, somehow, some way, it's tied to your purpose, and you embrace that, it's like coming home. It's like you're home and you're fulfilled and you're happy. So my challenge to you today, stop running away from your desire. Embrace it. Confront it. And become. Okay? So until I see you again, see you later. Bye-bye.